Welcome back. In a rare display of bipartisan consensus, all 4 Harris County commissioners voted to reward Harris County Toll Road Authority Executive Director Robert Trevino with a major pay raise. Compensation, I'm told, that was critical to retaining his leadership for an operation which generates more than $800 million cash per year. The only objection was a loud one, and it came from Judge Lina Hidalgo.
This is a 39% raise for one person that they did math in the back office, which I stepped out of because it feels insanely icky. I don't know what's behind it, but nobody's so good that they deserve a 40% salary increase overnight. I hope the Chronicle looks into this, and I hope other department heads ask for a 40% increase, and I hope you guys are ashamed.
Woo! Hissy aside, 3 Democrats and a Republican, all of whom have run businesses, nonprofits, or major departments in the past, agreed that what Trevino has brought to the table so far in terms of performance was worth the additional investment to keep him in place. Panel thoughts. I'm going to start with you, Doug Miller.
You know, something about the numbers in this didn't add up to me. Lina Hidalgo, in her comments, said basically that this guy was being offered a job at the city, that John Whitmire apparently was going after him for some job. All right, so he's making $350,000 a year now. They gave him a raise to $485,000. The highest paid person on the city payroll now is the EMS director, David Purse, who makes $333,000 a year. I can't make those numbers. What was John Whitmire going to pay this guy to do, supposedly? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, we got an answer. I mean, you know, Mario Diaz at the airport
could be
resigned. Maybe that was where it was going. No confidence, total speculation. Cynthia, what's your take here?
Well, you know, these public institutions, personnel issues are usually discussed in closed session or executive session, and the folks come out, the elected officials, and vote on it. These are 2 incidents of 2 Latinos with General Rick Noriega and also Mr. Trevino that became public before there was a vote. These issues are quite unique. They should be held, but what is on the other side, a 40% raise based on performance should be incremental. We've all been able to see that and do that in our own professions, but it does raise an eyebrow as to why this person was going to make literally $500,000 a year. So, you know, it's interesting, but it should be kept in closed session. All discussions, deliberations regarding personnel issues and salary increases.
All right, retaining talent in the public sector. One thing that the private sector can do is when you have a great year, pay you a big-time bonus. Right. And that's what happens all over the private sector. I mean, what's your thoughts, Marcus?
I agree. I'm wondering why this could not have been incentive-based, right? If you want to get to that number, we can get to that number, but let's do something strategic to make it work for everyone. And Doug brings out a great point. Something doesn't look right, sound right, feel right, smell right. Now, what's amazing to me is, yes, 40% pay raise, man, I need a job. I need to go. But what's amazing to me is Judge Hidalgo was able to identify that a single person should not get this much money, this type of contract. I was wondering where that discernment was with the $11 million contract.
Oh, yeah. Final word to Holly, 30 seconds.
You know, I rarely agree with Lina Hidalgo on her statements and policy choices, but on this, you know, kudos to her for highlighting this. And I hope she'll apply that consistently across the board as we look at things like those contracts and some of the other highly compensated bureaucrats. This is a problem in our government with the highly compensated bureaucrats. We have school superintendents in the state of Texas who make more than any governor in the United States of America, and sometimes those salaries raise eyebrows as well. We ought to scrutinize.
We didn't even get to the $800 million.
Hey, well, that sounds like something we can talk about in overtime.